TISAX, Optimization of IT Risk Management in the Automotive Industry. Authors, Tomasz Krylikowski from Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, Koszalin University of Technology and Agnieszka Ubowsza from Faculty of Maritime Technology and Transport, West Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin. With the progress of globalization and the development of information technology, the scope and method of storing, processing and transmitting information has changed. Information has always been a valuable commodity, and the progressing changes have opened up new possibilities for its loss. One of the common solutions is the use of cloud computing platforms. Every year there are more and more companies that use cloud computing instead of investing in a rapidly aging information technology infrastructure. Such a solution brings numerous benefits to organizations, including access to the latest technologies and programs, as well as cost reduction. However, shifting data processing to the external servers has many risks. IT risk management is one of the key elements of the organization management process. The conducted research shows that the level of IT risk is constantly growing. Therefore, many organizations decide to ensure adequate protection of their data. So far, the main tool for reducing IT risk has been the implementation of the ISO 27001 standard. In 2017, however, a new solution was introduced, dedicated to companies in the automotive industry. The German Association of the Automotive Industry has developed and published the requirements for the VDA ISO information security system based on the international standard ISO 27001. In addition, for the needs of the automotive industry, VDA has developed compliance audit principles with these requirements, as well as information exchange principles regarding the results of these audits, Trusted Information Security Assessment Exchange. From 2018, every company that works for customers in German automotive industry is required to have a TISAX certificate. At the same time, VDA created an information exchange platform, ENX European Network Exchange, to support the services provided, including TISAX. ENX is an accreditation body that controls the quality of audits and auditors and provides information to entities registered on the platform. According to VDA report, until the end of 2020 over 2,800 companies with 5,100 sites have registered and over 2,600 tests have been carried out during this time. In 2018 to 2020 more than 25,000 improvements in information security have been introduced in the participating companies. Initially, the TISAX standard included companies mainly from Germany industry. Subsequently it extended to other European companies, but today it is implemented all over the world. This is due, inter alia, to the fact that automotive industry companies are often international in their nature and structures. Why such a standard? The automotive industry has specific requirements. The frequency of information and data exchange in the entire area of operation is enormous. New prototypes are often performed using 3D printing. The key issue in the external exchange of information is the protection of prototypes and know-how and ensuring the security of communication with subcontractors and suppliers. TISAX participants can be all companies from the automotive industry that want to prove that the information they use is safe. Two groups are distinguished among the participants: active participants, organizations that submit to TISAX and make the assessment results available on their own initiative or at the request of another organization. Passive participants, organizations interested in knowing the results of another organization's TISAX assessment and request that another organization undergo such assessment and then publish the results on the ENX platform. The implementation of the TISAX standard includes the following steps: registration of the participant on the platform. The interested entity registers itself by providing basic information security assessment, which includes assessment preparation, audit provider selection, information security assessment and assessment result. If the company passes the assessment, audit provider supply the official TISAX report and the company is given the right to use the TISAX label. And the last step, exchange. Submission of the audit report and uploading of the audit information to the ENX platform for information distribution with selected TISAX participants. Assessment result is valid for 3 years. The development of the standard by the German Association of the Automotive Industry established a common level of information security in the automotive industry. One of the main advantages of implementing TISAX is the creation of a transparent supplier and service provider assessment. This enables building lasting and positive relationships with suppliers and improves communication in the supply chain. Registration on the ENX platform also gives you the chance to acquire completely new business contacts. Very often automakers buy new models from competitors to study their technical progress. However, there are companies that take a step further. Corporate espionage and data theft are not new to the automotive industry. The developing digital technology makes it much easier to appropriate huge amounts of information and increases the risk to which companies are exposed. Any entity running a business in this industry can become the target of economic intelligence activities. Examples of such incidents are as follows. In 1993, José Ignacio López, General Motors sales chief, joined Volkswagen with 10,000 documents on critical activities and areas of concern, including GM's strategy plans. Losses were counted in hundreds of millions of dollars. In 2010, Detroit couple Shantanu and Yu Chin were charged with conspiring to illegally obtain trade secrets related to hybrid vehicles from General Motors Company. The couple attempted to pass the information on to Chinese manufacturer, Chery Automobile. In 2011, 3 senior employees of Renault, a complex of technical laboratories in Guyancourt near Paris, were accused of disclosing classified information to competitors regarding 4 prototypes of electric cars of the brand. In 2017, a Chinese student on a work placement at French parts maker Valeo SA was given a prison sentence for obtaining confidential documents. In 2018, there was a leak of sensitive data from several automotive manufacturers. The network includes among others classified files. In total, almost 160 gigabytes of data was made public. The data disclosed concerned about 100 companies, and the list included, among others, Volkswagen, General Motors, Toyota, and Tesla. All these entities cooperated with a small Canadian company that deals with industrial automation. The reason was supposed to be a wrong configuration of the system operation. Information on such incidents is certainly not disclosed often. As well as a method of attack, companies affected by espionage usually do not comment on it in order to protect their reputation. In order to obtain and maintain the right to use the TISAX mark, suppliers of the automotive industry must prove that they meet the criteria necessary to ensure information security. The basis for the assessment in this respect is the ISA Catalogue of Requirements. A participating company may be audited at the request of another participant or make its own assessment findings. Following an audit by an accredited body, the results are made available to the requesting party. The audited company may make its results available to other TISAX participants with various levels of detail. The participant has the opportunity to share the result with the business partner who previously made such an inquiry, to all or selected TISAX users or to an individually defined scope. In the past, audits of external suppliers were carried out by the interested company, which in the automotive industry usually involved subjecting one entity to frequent audits. TISAX participants avoid additional audits for other interested participants while maintaining the same security requirements. Requirements are presented in the form of a catalogue of questions based on the main aspects of ISO 27001. The ISA currently has 3 criteria catalogues: information security, prototype protection, and data protection. The compliance and effectiveness of individual implemented and applied measures is defined on a 6-point maturity scale. The more sophisticated information security management system is, the higher maturity level: 0 incomplete, 1 performed, 2 managed, 3 established, 4 predictable, 5 optimizing. 0 means that process is not available, not followed or not suitable for achieving its objective. Maturity level 1, an undocumented or incompletely documented process is followed and indicators exist that it achieves its objective. Maturity level 2, a process achieving its objectives is followed. Process documentation and process implementation evidence are available. Maturity level 3, a standard process integrated into the overall system is followed. Dependencies on other processes are documented and suitable interfaces are created. Evidence exists that the process has been used sustainably and actively over an extended. Maturity level 4, an established process is followed. The effectiveness of the process is continually monitored by collecting key figures. Limit values are defined at which the process is considered to be insufficiently effective and requires adjustment. And maturity level 5, a predictable process with continual improvement as a major objective is followed. Improvement is actively advanced by dedicated resources. TISAX addresses aspects of prototype protection that are not reflected in ISO standards. These are physical and environmental security, security concept, durability of the outer shell, protection against unauthorized eyesight, customer separation, vehicle, component and parts handling, transport, parking and storage, test vehicle requirements, camouflage, trial and test area, public road trials and tests. Depending on the potential damage, VDISA catalog defines 3 protection classes for companies: normal, the potential for damage is low, of a short-term nature and limited to a single company; high, the potential for damage is considerable, or of a medium-term nature, or not limited to a single company; very high, the potential for damage threatens the company's existence, or is of long-term nature, or is not limited to a single company. The protection classes have been assigned the recommended levels of information classification and their color symbols: green, yellow and red. TISAX enables a mutual acceptance of information security assessments and provides a common evaluation and exchange mechanism. The results of the evaluation are always under the control of the evaluated company. For all TISAX assessments, questions from the ISA criteria catalog are mandatory. Their applicability depends on participants' assessment objective. The assessment objective are information with high protection needs and information with very high protection needs in relation to information security criteria. Protection of prototype parts and components, protection of prototype vehicles, handling of test vehicles and protection of prototypes during events and film or photo shootings in relation to prototype protection. And data protection and data protection with special categories of personal data in relation to data protection. Objectives are the input to the assessment process. Labels are the results of it. 8 differently labels are available, corresponding to the objectives being assessed. Assessment methods depend on the assessment level. TISAX differentiates 3 levels. Assessment Level 1, auditor checks only for the completeness of self-assessment. No access to the contents of the assessment is provided and no gathering of evidence is conducted. It is mainly for internal purposes in the true sense of a self-assessment. Results of assessments have a low trust level and are thus not used in TISAX. Assessment Level 2, auditor does a plausibility check on the self-assessment for all locations within the assessment scope. He or she supports this by checking evidence and conducting interviews with participants generally via audio conference. Assessments do not include an on-site inspection, except prototype as assessment objectives. Assessment Level 2 is required for information with high protection needs and data protection. Assessment Level 3, auditor does all the checks as for an assessment in Level 2. However, all checks are more comprehensive. He or she verifies self-assessment results in an in-depth on-site inspection and face-to-face interviews. Assessment Level 3 is required for prototype and data protection with special categories of personal data. Before starting the registration process, each of the companies can assess their information security management system. Thanks to conducting a self-assessment based on the ISA, it can determine whether the company's ISMS matches the expected maturity level. The ISA document is available on the VDA website as an Excel file. The control information security questions are divided according to the following themes: information policies and organization, including information security policies, organization of information security, asset management, information security risk management, assessments, incident management, human resources, physical security and business continuity, identity and access management, IT security, cyber security including cryptography, operations security, system acquisitions, requirement management and development, supplier relationships and compliance. The file also includes additional prototype protection requirements, additional questions regarding data protection for determining a service provider's basic suitability to act as a processor within the meaning of Article 28 of the EU General Data Protection Regulation. The requirements are spread across 4 columns: requirements, must, requirements, should, additional requirements for high protection needs and additional requirements for very high protection needs. The result score obtained after completing the form provides the information whether the company is ready for a TISAX assessment and can expect to receive TISAX labels. Conclusions. Information security is still perceived by many as an unnecessary cost that brings no profit. Fortunately, more and more companies notice the benefits of implementing information security standards. Information security TISAX model brings standardization, quality assurance and mutual recognition of audits. Importantly, while meeting business needs, it gives companies the opportunity to reduce these costs thanks to the reduction of the number of audits. A catalogue of questions based on the ISO 27001 standard covers the information security requirements of the automotive industry. Thanks to the implementation of the standard, companies can show their contractors that the level of information security in their organization is sufficient or meets the expectations of a contractor who is interested in cooperation. It should be emphasized that information is an asset which, like other business assets, is critical to businesses and therefore must be properly secured. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please contact us.